record the class, and we're going to begin sitting all the way up for a moment. And let's just face the computer screen and put your feet all the way together. And then just take a second, bring your hands to your thighs, manos a los muslos, to those muslos, and pull your scapula, la escapula junta, pull the shoulder blades together, pull your navel in, ombligo adentro. Good, and let the top of your head rise up here for a moment. So let's just see what it feels like to get on those 2 feet. Try pushing down, empujando through your heels, por los talones, and then also through the balls of the feet, las plantas del pie. This can even let your 10 toes rise up just a little bit. I'm hoping you feel a little energy here at the front of the quadriceps, and the tailbone dropping down awakens the back of the legs. Beautiful. Now from here, let's just open the palms. So roll your palms. We're going to move your palmas afuera, your palms out. As that happens, feel the scapula. La scapula is going to slide down your back. Good. And then exhale, let the arms come up for just a moment. Again, still feeling the scapula pulling down the back. Beautiful. Keep pushing down through the feet as the fingertips come all the way up in el aire. So you can bring your palms together. Beautiful. And then exhale. Let's just slowly push your palms all the way down towards your side. Beautiful. Let's bring the palms together, palmas juntas. And then exhale, move your thighs back and keep your kneecaps parallel as you go. So we're going to inhale, stretch up. Even take your gaze up to your thumbs. And then exhale, move the thighs back. Good. Maybe even let the elbows graze the top of the thighs. So codos a tus muslos. Good. Empujando, pushing through the feet. And then exhale, taking your knees. Good. Right over the ankles. Rodillas sobre los tobillos. Good. Codos a los muslos. And remember, we're aiming for a really long spine. La columna es recta. Good. All right. Inhale, stretching all the way up. And then exhale. Coming down here for just a moment. So now let the palms just stretch underneath your collarbones. Good. And then exhale, sweep the arms out, lengthen the back. And then we're going to come right back down. Let the palms connect. Exhale, empujamos por los pies. You're going to push through the feet and come right back down. Let's try 2 or 3 more. Estirando afuera. Good. And then up. Good. So your palms connecting and then pushing to lift. Good. Really grounding through the feet. I can't say that enough. Beautiful. Inhale, pause. Now you're going to exhale. Just let the top of your head melt down. And let's stretch the backs of the legs. So feel for a moment the thighs lifting all the way up. And now you'll inhale, take your gaze up. Let the fingertips rise from the floor for just a moment. So feeling a long spine, strong back. And exhale all the way back up, nice and tall. Beautiful. So now step your feet just a little bit further apart. Like, let's go to sitting bone apart. And I want you to pick up a leg, shift the weight. So small little movement here. Your weight on one foot, un pie, y otro pie. Good. And you can leave the hands at your hips and push all the way down. So remember that anchor through the foot and then you lift. Good. So now pause. Inhale, take 2 arms up. Los dos brazos arriba. Take 2 arms up. And then one knee up. Una rodilla arriba. Y otra rodilla arriba. So opposite leg up. Inhale, brazos arriba. Exhale, rodilla arriba. Good. And I want you to try to land toe, ball, heel with your foot. So you let the toe, ball of the foot, exhaling to lift. Good, feeling that minimal weight shift. Good, so now let's hold one knee lifted. Extend the shin bone, just hold that for a couple of breaths. Good, getting energy through that opposite leg. Bend the knee, exhale down, brazos arriba, arms up. Same thing, lift the knee, and then you'll extend, feeling that energy there through your quadricep. Beautiful, taking that back down. Bring your palms together. This time, brazos arriba, arms up, opposite elbow to thigh. So you're gonna lightly feel that tap. Inhale, stretch up, your pulgares arriba. Feel your whole abdominal wall. Estirando, so it stretches and lengthens as you create a little back bend. Doblando un poco la espalda. Right. Inhale, stretching all the way up. And exhale, coming across. Inhale, coming all the way up. And exhale, stretching across your body. Inhaling up and then exhaling. Beautiful. Let's inhale, come up. And then this time, open your arms, step your 2 feet a little bit wider. And once again, just shift your weight. So I think working on balance is a great way to just connect to your nervous system. Just noticing, you know, how we respond to feeling unstable. And sort of what helps us connect and feel more stable. So longer exhales, and then muscle focus and concentration. Really trying to pay attention to those nerves, the bottom of your foot. Good. Beautiful. So now pause and just hold one leg lifted out to the side. A few breaths. You can even extend the arms here. Again, letting those exhales lengthen out. Good. Doblamos. You're going to bend the knees, stretch and reach. Take that on the opposite side. Good. Now the palms together. Let's bend, take the thighs back. With your legs a little bit wider, you may find you can go a little bit deeper. So I'm letting my elbows come just right in front of my rib cages. Exhale, stretching, extending, estirando aquí. Good. All the way in and all the way out. All the way in. Good. Warming up your hips. Good. Warming up your heart, corazón. También los pulmones, your lungs. Good. So now I want to hold on top for a moment. With the arms wide, roll the palms back. Open the chest. Beautiful. Find a flat back. Let's try that a couple of times. Abrimos el pecho. Open the chest. Stretch, extend behind you. Exhale. Estirando adelante. Stretching forward. Couple more. Estirando arriba. Stretching up. Good. And then wide. Last time. Stretching up. Good. Open wide. Now rotate through your ribs and tap one ankle. Exhale, sweep up, find a back bend, and then cambiamos lados. You're gonna switch sides. Here we go. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, taking that stretch. Inhaling up. Exhale, stretching. Beautiful. Inhaling up. Exhale, moving across your midline. Inhaling all the way up. Inspirando. Y expirando para bajar. Good. Let's pause for just a moment. I'm now gonna turn my right toes out and then just bend the knee. You can try this a couple times. Oh, we lost Sherry, but we've got her back. Good. So I got my right toes out. Maybe you go with your left, and I just want you to bend out over that way. So if you need to walk your foot a little further away from the opposite foot so that you have the right amount of space to bend this knee, go ahead, do that. And just again, pay attention to cadera Paying attention to your hips, paying attention to the inner thighs, bone by bone, hueso por hueso. Good. And then we're gonna pause down here for a moment, circle the arms in the shoulder socket. Good, circling the other way. Chin over one shoulder, chin over the opposite shoulder. Good. And then bring yourself back to a neutral here. Let one elbow, so that elbow pulls down towards the thigh. Then stretch and reach away from it. So codo abajo, taking that arm down. And exhaling over. Codo abajo. And then over. Codo abajo. And then over. Beautiful. Let's pause down here for just a moment. And lengthen your opposite side fully, completely, still grounded through the feet. Good. Exhale. Now, this is important. So as you lift back up, you really push through the feet to feel the top of the head float right back over the tailbone. Los pies, you're going to pull the foot in, turn the opposite foot out. Gira el pie atrás. Good. So start with your hands on your hips. Open the knee and then check that if you want to have a little bit more bend here. Make sure you walk the toes out, that foot out enough so that as you bend, the knee doesn't go beyond the ankle. You can even kind of trace that track that the knee goes on from the hip. To me, these things just become so more and more important. These little cues to connect your brain to your body here. So let's pause, arms out. And then from here, once again, a little circle, feeling energy in the arms, pushing the palms down. Scapula junta, escapula junta. Good. And then changing the direction there of that little circle, waking up your arms. Opposite elbow down, stretch, reach away. Opposite elbow down, stretch, reaching away. Opposite elbow down, stretching, reaching away. Let's try that one more time. Hold here for a moment. Top arm really goes overhead. So the long side. Utthita Hasta Parsva Konasana. I'm doing a modified version of this pose. Beautiful. And then once again, I want to remind you, before you lift, push the feet into the floor and then lift. Good. So now turn all the toes in for a moment. Bring your hands to the hips, a long forward bend, letting the top of the head come down. Once again, anchor into your feet. Good, we're gonna inhale, look all the way up. And then exhale, I'm gonna turn. So let's all turn. I'm going to my right toes. You can come this way, and I just want you to step the back foot in and inhale, sweep all the way up. So now this is my left side facing the computer. And we're gonna start working on doing some lunges into warrior one, taking feet back. So you're gonna inhale, the arms come up, long stretch, and then exhale, take a forward bend. Hands here under the shoulders, bend the knees. Beautiful. So now from here, step your left foot back, step your right foot back. Give this plank pose 5 breaths. Exhale, lift your 2 hips and reach the tailbone up in the air. And just remember that cueing we worked on last week. I think we're going to continue with that, to think about when you bring your foot through, to bring the foot behind the hand. So let's begin by lifting your left leg up, and that should deepen the stretch in your calf. Continue to push through the hands. Lift the tailbone. Now bend the knee bends. And then you're gonna exhale, scoop the abdomen in, Place the foot right behind your left hand. Now the back toes turn out, get a deep bend there, and then you're gonna exhale, push into the feet to bring yourself all the way up into a warrior one. So the front knee bends, the back knee straightens. Good, and you're gonna let the torso now move back 5 breaths. Good, and then from here, just exhale, take a long forward bend. Now if you need a prop, use a prop. I've got like a cushion, or you could use a block, whatever it is you need. Or your hands could just go to the floor. So start with the lengthening version of Parsvottanasana. And now you're gonna exhale, rotate towards your front leg, twisting up into Parivrita Trikonasana. Good, so think long rib cage. So that top ribs are gonna pull down, the bottom ribs, las costillas abajo, are gonna lift up. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Go ahead, take that arm down. Turn all your feet. So you're gonna turn away from the computer, once again, moving into Padottanasana. Good, so now I just back of the body is facing the computer screen. Now I'm gonna pivot my opposite toes out. So these are my right toes. And then from here, oh, nice stretch here. I'm gonna step my back foot in. Exhale, come up on the other side of my mat. And then I'm gonna take that sequence on this side. So now, inhale, sweep, take the arms up. Exhale, open the chest fully, completely, long spine, la columna, moviendo abajo, moving the spine down. Let's inhale, look up. Exhale, bend the knees. Now step back, right leg. Good, now step back, left leg. 5 respiraciones, take 5 breaths here. Feeling the energy around the heart and lungs. 2 and 1. Now your tailbone rises up, coxis arriba. And then you're gonna stretch the balls of the feet. Let them stretch all the way out into the floor, and then you reach the heels away from the toes. So again, that is to deeply stretch the backs of your calves, your soleus, your gastrocnemius, and then the quadriceps are lifting up. Top of the head melts down. Good. So now from here, you're going to raise the right leg. Just bend the right knee. Deepen the stretch in your left calf. And then exhale. Let's put that foot in. So you're going to just walk it if you need to, but get the foot behind the hand. Turn the back toes out slightly. Push through your front foot. And exhale, find a warrior one. So the front knee is bending. The back knee is straightening. The chest is opening. You're sort of giving yourself over to this back bend. So find where it's satisfying. Beautiful. So now from here, exhale, stretching all the way back down over the leg. Good. And then I want you to think about the outside hip, outside sitting bone. So you're going to pull that back. And that's, again, we talk about hip compaction. So you feel the hips pulling towards one another. Spine lengthening out. Exhale, stretch, take your top arm up. Parivrita Trikonasana. Beautiful. So now that arm's going to pull down. 2 palms are next to each other. Step your front foot back once again. Exhale, lift the hips and pelvis. And we're going to bend your knees. Doblamos las rodillas, bend the knees. Exhale, move your weight back. Adho Mukha Virasana. So taking a little child's pose for just a moment. Letting your back lengthen out. Stretch through the shoulders. Beautiful. Inhale, coming up. Curling your 10 toes under, lifting the hips high. Now you'll walk your hands back towards your feet. So we're in a forward bend. Shaking the head now. Nodding the head yes. De acuerdo con la cabeza. Good. Relaxing your neck, la columna. Good. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, hands to the hips. Bringing ourselves back up, nice and tall. So let's try this. We'll stretch, pull some weight onto your right side. Lift the left leg. Hands here can come to the shin bone. Take a few breaths to get centered. Good, and then if you like, grab onto the big toe. Las manos there, they're just connecting to the big toe if you like. Again, so just stay with your hands on your shin if that's all you're interested in. Or if you'd like to work on extending the leg, Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Give this 5 breaths. Good, bend the knee and exhale, release. And then lightly just prance through the feet a little bit. Good, checking in with your knees, etc. Las rodillas con los pecitos. Good, so now we'll try that on the other side. You're gonna push the weight onto your left foot. Exhale, raise your right shin, just hold this leg. So remember, pause anywhere, right? This is enough for you today. Just work on getting that shin bone up. Good, now if you'd like to try taking your hand to your big toe, dropping the tailbone, pulling the shoulder blades together, and then extending the leg. Give it a few breaths. Good, let's bend the knee. Exhale, release. Once again, just lightly kind of prance your feet. Great. So now I'm going to turn towards the computer. I'm going to balance the weight once again on my right leg. You maybe go to the left. Pause here. Open the knee. Take your hands here to your low abdomen, to your baby, and to your sacrum. And then exhale, lift this leg. And then see about putting the foot up there on the thigh, if you want to go there. And then once the foot is on the thigh, hug the opposite thigh bone in. And so I want you to pay attention to what your hips are doing. Don't let the hips react to create balance, right? Keep the hips, ribs, shoulders together. Good. Exhale, sweep the arms up if you'd like. Couple breaths. Good. Are your shoulders balanced? What's happening with your scapula? La scapula. Exhale. Hands back down. Good. Lift the leg. And again, put a little lightness. Just prance there through your joints. Good. So now we'll take the weight on the opposite leg. Turn the toes out. Lift the heel. Tailbone down, sacrum in. So just, again, reconnect to these sensations. So what I want you to do is just notice if your pelvis is gone wonky wonk, see if you can pull that right underneath you, right underneath the base of the rib. So now exhale, lift the leg, hand here to the ankle if you like. I'll pull that foot up the thigh. Good. Good, so just feel yourself again, balancing your hips, your rib cage, letting the arms, if they want, come out. Letting the arms, if they'd like, float up. Good, exhale, releasing the arms. And releasing the leg. Good, putting a little prance in there Once again, just shaking out the legs. Excellent. So now we're going to step back to the back of your mat. You'll inhale, take the arms, sweep them up once again. Take a long stretch of your spine, reaching forward. Good. And exhale, the top of the head's going to lift up. And then we'll walk your hands out. So we're going to come left. Really pay attention to your shoulders as you do this. Right, left, right, back in a little plank or from a down dog here. Checking this distance, see what happens when you bring your knees down and then your sternum up. Good. So just getting a back bend. Now lifting the knees, lifting the hips, coming all the way back up. So you're gonna bend the knees, let the hips move underneath your shoulders more or less, or wait, no, back from your shoulders. So you kind of feel the hips being supported by your abdomen. Exhale, lifting, taking that all the way up. Let's do 2 more. Knees down, hips moving forward, chest and sternum rising up. Exhaling. Good. Last time here. Good. And then we're going to exhale. Fold your forearms down to the floor and lift your 2 thigh bones. Again, give this a few breaths. Press the forearms into the floor. Good. The higher you lift the tailbone, the more you can reach the thighs up and back. Exhale, release. Coming down this time, let's place your blanket in the middle of your mat. And then placing your knees on top, so a little extra padding. Good, we'll inhale. First, let the arms come up for a moment. And then exhale, stretch, reach. Hands move to your sacrum. Keep the sacrum upright and then let the head tilt back. So just stretching your whole abdomen here. You can exhale, push down with the feet to lift up. Good, so now let's try this. I'd like you to see if you can reach. We're gonna practice just a couple times. One hand coming back to touch an ankle. You can stretch the opposite hand out. Good, pause, really go slow. Pay attention to your spine. You wanna keep it as neutral as possible. So when you're reaching back to touch a foot, see if you can do it with your gaze, la vista adelante, because you're just doing it by feel. And you're able to keep your spine pretty neutral as you go. Good, so a lot of twisting when you're moving back here can be kind of problematic. So start waking up proprioception. One hand down, maybe the other. Good, letting the quadriceps, front of the hips stretch. Okay, so if that's going great, now take 2 hands down thighs and exhale, come up. So what I want you to be able to feel is that the thigh bones are staying vertical as you are bending back, right? So just carefulness, cuidado in your back bending. Good, so stay with this version if this is working for you, or if you can now take 2 hands to your 2 heels and then melt the top of your head down. Give this 5 breaths, Ustrasana. I said 5, but let's go for 10. This is working for me this morning. So you push through the heels to bring yourself right back up nice and neutral. Good. If you have questions about how to get into Ustrasana safely for your neck and back, to get to a place where it's really relieving, I think you have to pay attention to how you get there. Let's let the knees come down, or the thighs come down for just a moment. You can rest some weight on the top of the feet. For some people, this is not that comfortable. You can put something there between your sitting bones and your heels. Good, but just take a moment to let the tops of your ankles stretch. Just imagine you, most of the day, have your feet moving in the opposite direction. So this is just an opportunity to stretch that. Good, and then from here, we're gonna bring your arms all the way forward. Let the back lengthen out. Let the forearms come down. Good, and we're gonna work on side plank, and we're gonna just all start with one knee bent. So I'm gonna stretch my right leg back. Good, and then pivot and open onto that side. So now my top arm, top leg are lifted, stretched into the air. Good, you can try bringing the hand and the foot together behind you in this. And I've also I don't know how well you can see this, but my bottom shin bone rotates out. Exhale, extend those limbs again, bend the knee, return to a neutral, just rest for a moment. Collect your energy. So what I mean is when I go into a side plank, my bottom shin, I'm moving out like this to help me balance. So make sure you take now the left leg back, right toes out, and then exhale. In a side plank, I think it's good to go with your bottom body first. So always get the leg up and then the arm. Puts less strain on the neck and shoulders. Good, if this is feeling fantastic, bring the hand and the foot together. Good, stretching out your hip. Exhale, now release the arm first, and then bring the leg down. Stretch your weight back, releasing for a moment. So before we lift up and do a full plank, I want you to think about what you want to do, right? If you're more of a on your knee this morning, that's just where you need to be, and you can repeat that. Or if you're ready to come up into a down dog. And so we're going to pivot to the left side first. So walk your left foot in slightly, and then your hands. So start with the feet, they rotate, then the hips. And then when you feel the hips in line with the shoulders, top arm up. Good. Good, and just start getting comfortable on that arm, on that leg. Good, the lower you take your hips, where you can lift the top of the head. Excellent, take that arm down, reach, lift, pivot, come through a down dog if you need to. Now from this position, we're gonna go to the other side. So walk the right foot in just a little bit. And remember, you're gonna go first through the feet, they pivot, then through the hips, they pivot, and then take that top hand to the hip, pull the bottom thigh up, and then raise your top arm. Subimos el brazo sobre your hombros, your two shoulders. Good, hand behind the head. Exhale, you can get a little more length in the neck, pulling these bottom rib cages in, or top rib cage in, bottom rib cage up. Exhale, rotate the hands now back, then the hips and the feet. So it's like you just reverse what we did. Doblamos las rodillas, bend your knees. Take now your forearms here to the mat. Take your sternum up, move the thighs and the tailbone up. And then the idea is that your sternum is just gonna melt. El esternum is gonna melt into the floor. Okay, so we're exhaling. I want you to now Take your blanket out in front of you. And you can, let's see, I'm gonna make this nice and firm and push my 2 forearms into it. Interlace my fingers and just don't do anything other than push the outsides of your arm bones into the floor until you feel your deltoids working almost as though you were in a plank pose. So really deeply empujamos por los brazos. So the idea is that you feel right here, your arms super duper duper firm. Good. So paying attention to that sensation, maintaining that sensation. So the opposite would be letting the neck and collarbones collapse. So now push those arm bones in. Now you're going to let the top of your head come down. So your ears are right in between your 2 forearms. Get some firmness there in your hands as well. And now you'll push the feet into the floor and lift the knees. So you should feel pretty supported through your arms. And then I want you to bend one knee, bring it in, then exhale, take it out. So bend the opposite knee, pull it in. Good. Exhale, take it out. From here, bend or stretch and extend one leg up. Exhale, release it down. Take the opposite leg, lift. Exhale, bring it in. So those of you who pressure in the cervical vertebra, discomfort in your shoulders, etc., that's your headstand, what we just did. So you push the forearms into the floor. You don't even put any weight necessarily on your head. You just take the forearm down. You press the forearm down, take the top of the head to the floor, and then you can practice lifting. So the whole idea is that you just get the weight of the body over the head, and then you support that fully, firmly through the muscles as you take one limb up, one arm down, etc. If anybody is feeling like trying to bring some balance onto their forearms this morning, we can work on that. The rest of us can continue to work on just pushing the forearms down, feeling the deltoids, top of the head, knees lifted. So now if you'd like to transfer weight from your feet to the top of your head, go there. So what you would do is from your forearms into the floor, tailbone lifted, push the head down, and then walk some weight with your feet adelante, forward. Good. And then you can practice just lifting 2 knees. That may be all you want to do. Lift one knee, lift the opposite knee. If you want to try lifting the legs, you can try lifting the legs, sending the heels to the sky so the backs of the legs are firm. Bending the knees, controlling that weight as you come down, toes to the floor. Exhale and release. Good. So I want to always teach people how to get in a headstand. Oh, that was beautiful. I'll never tell you to kick your legs up. So that's called ambition. And ambition leaves us flailing. But to actually feel the sensations of lifting and lowering so that you're so in control. If you start to lose your balance, you intuitively know what to do to pull yourself out of that. Again, you want to think about headstand more. We can talk about it after class. But let's try now. Coming onto your blanket, letting your sitting bones rest there. Good. So just to stretch out your neck, soles of the feet together. So I think for me personally, I hadn't done headstand in so long, and I'm encountering in this life in 2020 more fear around being pregnant than I had in 2018 when I was pregnant. So just figuring out how bone by bone, step by step, sensation by sensation to work on that experience of fear, I feel like is therapeutic to me. So let your hands here Come back behind the head for a moment, lengthen out your neck, and then let the top of your head melt down. So I think also there's a metaphor in working on balance is a great way to acknowledge and be more present with fear. All right, pull the shoulder blades together, and then I just want your head to float back. So you want to feel the head is almost weightless here, supported by your arms. Good, coming right back up. Good. Trying to think of, one hand here to your head. Let the side of your neck stretch. So I think the past and the future people talk about as being those deep primary sources of fear. Good. Exhale, previous injury. Something hard you're afraid of happening again. Opposite hand here to your ear. La oreja. Good. Exhale, letting your head now just take it side to side, check in. Beautiful. So now we're going to work on a little bit of sitting balance. So we'll just work on balances here on every little plane. So take your hands to one foot. So I'm going to the outside of my right foot. Exhale, stretch and extend the leg. Feeling the leg move out to the side. Big stretch here. Opposite arm bone. So this arm bone, I'm going to pull in. So it's the same arm. And you'll feel that anchored in your scapula. Scapula is vertical, top of the head, right over the tail. Exhale, release. Good. Opposite hand to foot, outside edge of the foot. Lift the hips again. Once you get the foot off the floor, then check your balance. Can you bring your weight more evenly into your isquiones, your sitting bones? And then pull that arm bone back. So anybody who wants to work on their deltoids, work on that shoulder strength, it's right there. And then exhale, extend the leg to the side without your torso falling with the leg, right? Torso supporting the stretch of your hamstring. Knee bend, or your elbow bend. Knee straighten. Good, weight is even in your isquiones. Beautiful. Bringing that leg back for a moment. Do a little check-in. How's your neck? How's your shoulders? La cadera, la columna. And then take two hands here to your feet. And then I just want you to get wobbly for a second. So with your hands on your feet, play on your sits bones like a 2-year-old, right? Just rock it back and forth, pitch it forward, pitch it back. All the things you're afraid, all that fear of falling, just kind of put it in your body. Good. Now let's see if we can ground your sits and pull your feet up. Rock just a little bit, see what that is. And then from there, let's stretch. One leg out as you anchor the sits. Opposite leg out, Upa Vista Konasana. Whoa. Good. So again, just being present. How are your hamstrings? How are the inner thighs? Can we pull la scapula junta? Can you pull your shoulder blades together? Good. Exhale, release, bring that in. So there's an energy that can be released with us. With each of these poses, we give a lot of attention to. Man, some of you just are killing it on the Upa Vista Konasana. Yay. Muy bien. All right. So now let's turn, I'm going to turn the blanket. I want to work on halasana for realsies. So what that means is with my blanket folded like this, I am going to come down and let my head be off of my blanket stack and my arms are to my side. So what this means is my shoulders are on the blanket, Good. And this is, given the nature of the computer screen, a watch and then do pose, because you don't want to have your head turned while you're working on halasana. So the things that I'll do, so just watch me do this and then take some time to practice. So you're gonna push the arms down. You can even hold the side of the mat to help you anchor the arms. And really quickly, just pull the scapula in so much that you feel those muscles in the back lift. You can lift your whole back up. Then release, pull that down. Remember, you want to stay that connected to your back. And then you're going to lift your hips. Lift your feet. Knees over your chest, and then lift the hips, right? So from your hips lifting, arms staying down, thighs are going to travel over your face. Take your toes to the floor and just continue to breathe. So halasana, cloud pose. Good, big breaths. Your back can round here. Good, and we don't need to look from side to side. Again, the more energy you keep in your shoulders, your scapula, the less pressure you put on your neck, and this should feel really relaxing. So if it's not feeling relaxing, don't push it. Just work on one thing at a time. Okay, good. So that's halasana, cloud pose. You can continue to work on that if you want to now take Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. Again, I would watch getting into it and then take a moment to practice it yourself, 5 or 10 breaths. We'll just continue to go slow and break all this down. So you'll go back to halasana. So your tailbone pulls up, thigh bone's lifting over you. And then you're going to pull the elbows down into the floor as you take your hands to the hips. Press your hips a little bit there in to your hands as you get the shoulder blades all the way together. And then I'm going to exhale, take my knees over my hips. And then I'm going to lightly transfer that weight forward and just hold here, 5 to 10 breaths. Elbows pressing down. No pressure on the neck. Good. Now you can again soften the knees, bring them in. And now reach your hands away and reach the legs slowly out over your torso and just come down. So I think there's a lot of potential to make the neck uncomfortable in shoulder stand. The main thing I can say is when you're working on inversions, weight of the body over your head, do not do two things at once. Be focused on the action you're doing, not what the teacher's saying. So make sure you're taking time to do that. Good, we've got to stretch that out the other way. So when you've finished your shoulder stand, you can exhale, now push your elbows deep down into the mat and take the top of the head to the floor. And this is stretching out your neck, your throat. Give this just a few breaths. And then we'll exhale and release. Let me check the time. Oh boy, well, maybe next time we'll make it into a back bend also. But so for now, let's just get ready for a little deep breathing. So I'm gonna roll up my blanket and let my head in the middle of my shoulder blades rest here on my blanket and just let my limbs come out. So you can let the arms rest at your sides if it feels nice to put your hands on your abdomen and just practice breathing. Let your breaths be full. Then we're going to exhale, stretch, take your arms up overhead. Oh, rock your toes, so turn the toes in, turn them out. Bend the knees, and now let the knees turn to one side. Let the knees turn to the other side. And then go ahead, let the knees continue in that direction as you push up, finding seated. And then you can bring las palmas juntas. We'll bring our palms together before the heart. Bow the head, close the eyes, doblamos la cabeza, cerramos los ojos. Your practice is a gift. Tu práctica es un regalo. Muchas gracias and enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.